recording. All right, so when I state your jurisdiction or agency, if you could state your name, that would be wonderful. I will start out with Benton-Franklin Transit.
Kevin Slager.
Benton County,
Matt Rasmussen.
Benton City,
Nathan Raddick.
City of Connell, City of Kennewick. Looks like John's joining. All right, John just stated, City of Kennewick just got you in here. City of Pasco. City of Prosser.
Marty
Marcella,
Groom.
City of Richland. City of West Richland.
Roscoe Slade.
Franklin County. Right there.
Craig Erdman, Franklin County.
Port of Benton.
Brandon Lopez.
Port of Kennewick. Port of Pasco. And then Washtenaw South Central.
Bill Nugent.
And I saw Maria from Pasco jump in as well, so we do have a forum.
Perfect. All right, checking everybody's having late summer vacations here. All right, this is an opportunity for public comment, so can't see the screen very well, so if we have any guests that would like to make any public comments to the group, just raise your hand so you can be recognized. And do you see anybody, Tanner?
Don't see any hands raised.
I don't see anybody waving either. All right, no comments. Okay, we'll move on. Looking for a motion to approve today's agenda.
I move to approve.
Oh, second.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Craig. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Those opposed? Okay, we got an agenda. In your packet was the meeting minutes from the August 7th TAC meeting. Looking for a motion and second to approve the meeting minutes.
I move to approve.
Second.
Thank
And I
you,
have a-
Maria. Thank you, Marty. And then any comments or questions?
Yes, comments. In one of the motions, there was an error in the last name. It said like Maria Serra, and I think Erdman was added to it. So it's just a minor correction that needs to happen.
Yeah, I saw that. It confused me too.
You see it as an approval of the agenda last meeting.
Okay.
You got it. His name spelled wrong and
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
then it's got a new last name. We'll get it
We'll
corrected.
get that corrected.
Okay. So with that, those amendments, any other comments or corrections? Okay, so all those in favor of approving the meeting minutes from August 7th with those errors corrected, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? Those opposed? All right, we've got amended meeting minutes. Okay, on to our action item. 6A is 2025-28 TIP amendments. Tanner,
Yeah.
you're up.
Thank you. So for the month of September, we have 3 TIP amendments that you can see on the screen. One is from Benton County and then 2 are from the city of Prosser. I'm sure those attending and representing would be happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Any questions for Marty for the city of Prosser or Matt here for Benton County? Any questions for them? Okay, if not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I move to approve.
Second,
Thanks, Maria. I didn't catch the second. Was that Marty?
Greg.
Great, okay, thank you. Any further comments, questions? All right, all those in favor of approving the tip amendment, say aye.
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 Those opposed? Okay, motion carries. On to item 6B, regional transportation priorities. Aaron.
Yes, thank you, everybody, and good morning. This is our annual item of updating our regional transportation priorities. Within your packet, there was the 2025 list, and also spelled out several options of how we can proceed with updating the list. This list is good, as we can have a unified voice as a region, going to have information in front of state and federal individuals. So last year we did an overhaul of our process, and we are going into a shorter legislative session this year in Washington State. So staff is seeking guidance from the TAC on two options of how we can update the regional transportation priorities. So option one is update the text, and if any projects have been funded, for those to fall off. Option two is that we completely do a new project submission process and have it hopefully be an action item next month. With that, we can have some discussion.
Anybody? All right, well, I'll start. I think it's a bad idea to change the list or potentially change the list every year. I'm in favor of leaving the projects as they are. If we have projects that are funded, take them off and then do a call to fill that spot. If it's one of the top six, did any of the top six get fully funded? I guess that's a question for the group.
Would it be helpful for me to rattle off the top six to state?
Yeah, I mean, in case everybody doesn't have it.
So number one is the SR 240 Aaron Interchange Improvement, City of Richland, for 39.8 million. Number two is Badger Road Interstate 82 Roundabout and Pathway Project, Benton County, estimated cost 20.8 million. Number three, Columbia Center Boulevard widening, City of Kennewick, 14.7 million. Number four, Keene Road widening, City of West Richland, 11.6 million. Number five, White Bluffs rail tie and rail replacement, Port of Benton, 11.9 million. And number six, Road 76 overpass, City of Pasco, 31 million.
So I can speak to West Richland. So our Keene Road widening project has some local funds in it. It's got in that quarter, there's a TIB grant, and then we've got the federal money from our recent call. But the corridor is not, that it would need to be updated for the last piece of a Belmont to Van Giesen. So I would have it, but I don't think any of these, I think several of these got funding, but I don't think they're fully funded. I mean, Richland got money on Aaron Drive for PE, but I don't think they have the construction money. Badger Road Interstate. Matt, did you guys get some funding for that?
No, I don't think so.
Nothing? Okay, I don't remember what
We got funding for, there's a rechannelization project there at the same location, but not for the roundabouts.
not for this.
No.
Thank you for the clarification. So that does change. Columbia Center Boulevard.
Yeah,
John, you guys got some money?
We did. We had to split it into phases. So we got funding for the first phase. So it would need to stay in, but we'd have to modify the description.
Okay.
But
And then-
I agree with Roscoe. I don't know that we want to go through another process updating this list every year.
It's helpful to be consistent and not change it.
Yeah.
That's how the region's been successful.
Yeah.
For what's where I agree, other than maybe if, like John just mentioned, hey, we got some money, maybe we note that we've received this much funding and this much remains. Because I think we need to be considered, if we change our regional priorities every year, then people stop paying attention to us.
Right.
I agree.
Yep, I agree, Matt, and that's a good saying to, when we update it, to show what we've secured.
Yes.
Because they like to be the last little piece. If there's just one little piece left of funding that'll complete that project, that's a great idea. Port of Benton, I saw Brandon is the White Bluffs rail tie replacement, that $12 million project, did that get fully funded? I know you got some funding.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah. I want to say yes. Mike, we just had a conversation with FRA that said we are fully funded. We're going through those first initial meetings to get to obligation. So before we were kind of in limbo, where we told we were funded, but we didn't actually know if we actually made that cut. But right now we look like we are going to be fully funded. But that could change just because we haven't seen anything. But so far, everything's looking good. And I can circle back with the team to let them know that this project will be fully funded here soon.
Okay. And then Maria, I know your Road 76 overpass got a little money in the last call, but you don't have the
Yes.
constructions.
Yeah.
Got it.
I do
Okay.
not. Thank you.
Okay.
And
then
I agree
the other-
with you all that we should not do a brand new process. I agree with that.
The other ones on the back, there was 5 additional projects listed of regional significance. Blue Falls Road, Greg, did that get any funding?
It hasn't got any funding yet, but we're making some progress.
Okay.
So hopefully we might hear something about that later, early next year or later. Anyway, we got the right kind of attention that we wanted for it. So that's a start.
Perfect. Somebody's got their hand up. I can't see that. Go ahead.
Hi there. Yeah, I was wondering how, I noticed several of the projects involve widening roads and increasing traffic capacity, basically loosening the belt to allow for more cars and more traffic on the road. I was wondering how we reconcile those goals of putting more cars on the road with the goals to reduce vehicle miles traveled and to allow for a safer environment for pedestrians, transit users, bicyclists. Widening roads is generally has an opposite effect in terms of fostering a safe environment for other road users. So how do we reconcile these goals?
So that, you want to take, I mean,
Yeah.
Right there.
All right, so I'll do my best to answer the question. So this list is a formulation of projects that jurisdictions cannot receive funding for at a smaller level. So these are the big projects that each jurisdiction is seeking the big funds from the state or the federal government. I'll say, as the council of governments, we can't control what projects go on here. Each one of these is based upon a priority of each of the jurisdiction. How we did this process was each jurisdiction submitted, I believe it was 2 applications, and then they could state if it was their number 1 priority or their number 2. And then from that, there was each project was then scored on a 1 through 6 system throughout the TAC. And then the projects were then ranked that way. So if a project's got the most 1s, it went higher up the list, so on and so forth, down to number 6. As far as the types of projects that are on here, it is completely up to what is the priority of each jurisdiction.
And just to add on that, the scoring in the past has been I'd say some subjective categories. And so we spent a lot of work as a TAC going through on hard scoring some of these. Looking at pedestrian safety, does it add multimodal? Is it on a transit route? Is it on a truck route? So depending what, so it's just simply, I can speak for Keene Road, isn't just widening and adding lanes. It's adding bike lanes, it's adding the pedestrian amenities on the regional pathway. So it wasn't just the lane widening on the thing, but the criteria, if you hit multimodal, you got more points on that. And next time we go through this, I think you're going to see a higher trip reduction and that kind of stuff will probably fall into the scoring with that. So hopefully that answered your question. But I think if you go on each city's website, you can probably get more information about each project and really the amenities, and you'll see it's just not adding capacity for vehicles on the majority of these.
Marcel, I have one more thing I can add. It's an item later in the TAC packet, but speaking about our regional transportation plan and potentially some different ways that we'll be assessing projects will be implemented. So this will be something that will be also brought to the board this month. So your question is very valid, and I thank you for asking it.
All right, sure. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, let's go back. So I got Franklin County, Island View to Vista Field, Kennewick and Richland. Did that project get any funding? I think it's got partial funding. I don't think it's fully funded.
Yeah, it's not partial funding through, not through COG.
Yeah, I got something from local community projects I heard.
Okay, so it's still, they didn't get 21 million, so, but you
No.
get some, okay?
Yeah.
Marty, your Alexander Court Phase 1, is that one fully funded with TIB? Or did you
Yes,
get
it's,
money through the calls?
yeah, through COG and TIV. It's fully funded.
So this one can be removed, project 9, okay? Let's see. Number 10 is the US 12 A Street traffic study,
Not funded.
not funded. And 11 was City of Prosser, Old Empire Highway Phase 2 improvements. Did you get that, Marty, through TIB or anything?
No, construction funding. We have designs 90% complete. Have to be some modifications, but no construction funding as of today.
So Aaron, I guess for my take on this, you know, we don't want to redo it. I would remove project 9 because it's funded. Assuming Port Benton confirms that theirs is fully funded. I would remove project 5. And then I would just slide everything up. So loose balls that was 7 now becomes 6, just move them all up. And ask each agency to look at their bullets and update it. If the total project cost has changed, update that. If you secured funding, I would list what you secured and where those funding sources were and what the remaining amount is. I think that this has worked. Having a consistent voice. I know when I was meeting with legislators, they're now asking, does this match? There was a considerable effort to coordinate this with the good roads, and so their list matches, other than it's got some wall projects on. So I think just hearing the comments from the other agencies that it's working to bring additional transportation funds to the Tri-Cities area. So it's doing what it's supposed to do. But that's kind of my thought on the deal. I'd love to hear everybody's comments on how to deal with this.
I agree, Roscoe. I mean, that makes sense to me. And then, and doing those updates to show, you know, what's been accomplished shows that we're serious about these projects. They're not just wish lists. We actually are making an effort to get them done, not just waiting around for funding. So I think that's a really good idea. We got quite a few of them are showing progress, and legislators like to see that. And like you said, they like to be the last dollars in. So if they can start to see that it's getting to that, they'll come up with the money to make it whole sometimes if we can make it that far. So no, I think that's a good process.
Yep, I agree.
I
Thanks,
agree.
Matt. Thanks, Greg.
We're being heard as a region. Through legislatures, we don't want to upset the apple cart now, so.
Thanks, John.
So with that, can I make a slight revision of the proposed motion on the screen to just add with pending edits? And I'll send an email out to each of the jurisdictions in this that has a project on here to revise the text and get it back to me by end of business next Thursday. So then it can be included in our board packet. So that'd be end of business on the 11th.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? So do we have a motion with this, or we?
Yeah, move to approve with the recommended amendments.
Thanks, Greg.
I second that.
Thank you, Maria. Any further discussion or clarification on what we're doing with the regional transportation priorities? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
I,
Those opposed? All right, motion carries. Homework to do for next Thursday, before next Thursday. All right, next agenda item is 6C, TAC elections.
All right, I will set the floor and then the TAC will take this one away. So in our BFCOG bylaws, the TAC chair serves until the end of the calendar year, and then their term will be terminated. Roscoe has done a great job being the TAC chair for, I believe, like 2.5 years now. So he will be ending this is the end of the Slate administration at the TAC level. So with that, we are holding the TAC elections in September, just knowing that TAC meetings in the fall can be lightly attended. And we want to make sure we have everything set up come January. So on your screen is the current TAC chair and the current vice chair.
So you're looking for nominations for,
Chair and vice chair.
okay,
I nominate Maria Sarah as the new chair.
I would second that. Do we have somebody that would not be nominated for the vice chair? Or any others for the chair position? Anybody moving? People logging out? I thought we had somebody that said they were interested in being
Yeah,
vice
I was
chair.
trying to think, there was somebody, I was trying to think who it was. Was
Yeah,
it?
Who?
Yeah,
Kevin?
Yeah, I believe I had mentioned that I would be willing to do that. Yep.
Yeah, it was Kevin.
Are you still willing?
I
Kevin?
am, yes, yes.
Okay, well, I'll nominate Kevin for vice chair from Transit.
I'll second.
Okay, anybody want to throw their hat in the ring? All right, looks like we got our two. Let's make it official. All those in favor is Maria for the TAC chair and Kevin is the vice chair starting January 1st of 2026. Looking for a motion in a second. Or we already did the motions. I guess all in favor, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Besides Maria? No. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Kevin. All right. That's the official action items. Now we'll go on to 7A. Reports and discussion of the Transportation Improvement Program TIP obligation status. Tanner?
Yes, all right, on to the fun stuff. So as the federal fiscal year 2025 is near the end, on September 30th, we have had a total of 6 projects obligate for 6.9 million. And that said, the remaining amount to meet our target is 2.34 million. WashDOT requested that projects are submitted and obligated by September 12th to ensure that the project meets the obligation deadline of September 30th. And with that, I will be on the next slide. We have some updates needed from Franklin County, Prosser, and Benton City in Benton County as well. So I will start off with Franklin County.
We met with local programs on Monday and we have everything in and we were told we'll expect our authorization obligation letter by the 12th of September.
Wonderful. Great news. Prosser.
All comments are back to DOT, so hopefully before the 12th.
Benton City.
All of our submissions are in with DOT as well. We've had numerous submissions with them and reviews and comments, so we're hoping to get something back by them as well. But I'm not sure how it's going to pan out.
Okay. And then Benton County.
Christina, I see you're on here. Do you guys know the status of that one? I know we had the staff person who was working on it left, but I don't know where that project got left off.
So it's with the consultant right now, and then we're meeting with them next week. They did an assessment of the pathway and came back with their analysis. And we're gonna go over that next week as far as what we are going to do as far as repairs. And then we'll go from there.
But we're not gonna make the 12th. That's not gonna be done in 6 days, 7 days.
It will not.
Okay, we can discuss that after Maria has her hand up.
I wanted to add, we submitted our paper for Road 76 overpass. It's with headquarters. There were a few questions late last week that we answered related to the future classification of that corridor. And I think we are just expecting the obligation. I haven't heard otherwise. So our project should also add to reaching that goal. It's 2.4 million. So if we can get that one done, we'll probably all be like out of jail.
Save everyone's bacon. Okay, Aaron, do you want to add anything as far as the Benton County project? 1-year extension will be needed. And then per our bylaws, if we do miss that target, there's possibility for board action on the consequences of not obligating and us being sanctioned. That is if we're sanctioned. So hopefully all the news that was just provided is all going to happen before the September 12th fast approaching deadline. And anybody wants to add anything, Aaron?
Yeah, so with the TIP policies and procedures that were adopted in May, if we do not reach our target, since this would be the 2nd year in a row, WashDOT has told us we will be sanctioned, and that then triggers a board action on how we are going to make up that shortfall. So there will be somebody losing funds if we do not reach our target. And then that will be up to the board to decide. We can have a discussion at the TAC level, and then that will be passed on to the board. However, it is the board's decision of how we will proceed with being sanctioned. I want to offer a question to Phil, since you work at WashDOT. With all of these things that are being submitted and we are waiting on WashDOT's headquarters, is there going to be any sort of leniency to the local jurisdictions with making sure that since they have submitted their paperwork and it's now in WashDOT's hands?
I guess I can't speak for local programs. Typically, like when I was in there previously, we typically had an earlier deadline that we asked for in order to get it through the process to ensure. So I guess not knowing if that initial kind of soft deadline was met, if that is the case, and it's totally dependent on just DOT being able to process, and and I don't know if that, I know when I was in there, we tried to provide August 15th or maybe August 25th or something as a rough deadline for an initial submittal, so that we had time to get it through the region and then had time for headquarters to get it through. So I don't want to speak for local programs, but I think it might depend on exactly when when the submittal was put in, as to whether did DOT have adequate time for processing. However, I mean, the bottom line is, from the federal standpoint, it's a later date, right? So I believe. So I guess I don't have a good answer for you. I think Seth would be able to better answer that, and I could try to reach out before and maybe could have an answer before the end of the call. But I think part of it would depend on, you know, how upfront was the original submittal. So I know that's a wishy-washy answer, but that's the best I have. And I can see if I can reach Seth and try to chime back in before the end of the meeting.
That'd be great, Phil. Thanks, Phil. And I think this has come up in the past. Yeah. And as long as it met whatever deadline they put before the thing, the DOT's honored it as long as the paper was submitted before then. But thanks, Phil,
Yeah.
for the update. We'll hopefully get an answer back from Seth.
I'll see
All
what I
right.
can find.
Yeah, so far, good news. So fingers crossed, everything goes. Thank you, Maria, for the added insurance with pushing that through. It's always stressful every year. Just even though you can borrow ahead 2 years, it's always stressful in September. So thanks for the update with that. All right. Any other comments or questions? Oh, so go ahead, Tim.
I'll just add, please, when you do receive, if and when you receive the obligation authorization, please let me know so I can spread the good news and update the remaining amount and narrow down how close we are to meeting our target.
And if we go over, that just helps us for next year, right?
Yeah,
Okay, that's what we're shooting for. Perfect.
spend away.
Benton County will be in contact with you about the 1 year extension.
Okay, let's go on to 7B, pedestrian trails. Daisy.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm giving you all an update on our pedestrian trails plan. Just a refresher on our plan purpose. It is to create a regional trail network that identifies the highly utilized routes and gaps or barriers in connectivity within the region. So over the past few months, we've conducted 9 stakeholder interviews, and the themes for those were essentially highlighting the need for more connected routes, safer crossings, as well as funding to address missing sidewalks, paths, trail maintenance, and amenities. Now that our public engagement is complete, Aaron and I are working on the pedestrian trails plan draft, which is in development, and the TAC will see a draft soon before it is proposed to the board and adopted by the end of 2020. Can I answer any questions y'all have on the pedestrian trails plan?
Daisy, you had reached out, and wanted information from each of the agencies. Did you get all the information you needed from the agencies?
I believe we've received all the information.
All right,
Yeah,
great
I'll
job.
check.
Great job. Okay. Any questions, comments for Daisy? No. Okay, we'll move on to, what are we at? 7C, Transportation Improvement Program Tip Document Update.
Yeah, so on August 17th, the draft 2026 to 2029 tip document was released for a 45-day public comment period. That comment period ends on October 1st. And with that said, on the 17th of this month, we are hosting an open house to showcase all of the projects. And you can see the little pizza there. There's going to be pizza provided, and it's encouraged that jurisdictions attend in person or remotely and provide an overview or a brief of the projects within your jurisdictions that are included in the tip and STIP. On August 20th, I sent an email out to all the TAC members with the PowerPoint template and requested that information was filled in and returned to us by the end of business on Friday, September 12th. So we can have it all lined up and flow efficiently throughout the presentation period.
So Tanner, what was what day you emailed it out when you just did
On
it?
August 20th.
Okay. And how many projects are you looking for from each agency?
All of them.
Let me ask you this.
They're included in the BFCOG.
That part of on the advance lately. No, I'm sorry.
Okay,
If you were to pull apart.
I know in the past we've just did a few, but okay, if it's in the 26 to 29 step, you want, okay. Any other questions for Tanner?
For strategy purposes.
So Tanner, is that just going to be so it's all PowerPoint? Don't bring any like boards or big maps or anything. Just send you those in a PowerPoint. template?
Yeah, and
Okay.
I emailed the template that's gonna be used. And it's just gonna kind of start off as presentations and then it'll be a sort of a slideshow.
Okay.
Yeah. You have anything to add?
Not necessarily. I think we'll just put all of the projects together and like Tanner said, we'd have a slideshow of just all of the projects and then we'll print them out and have them on tables so that if we do have people coming in person, they can look at those slides and they all look the same. So.
Okay. Any questions for Tanner? Looks like we got more homework. The week, is that next week already? Jeez. So the 12th, is that, what day is that? That's a Friday? Okay, so stuff due on Thursday and then we got stuff due next Friday. All right. Does anybody else have their hand up? Okay, 7D, Regional Transportation Plan, Scope of Work, Land Use Update, and Project Request. Aaron.
All right, this is broken into 3 items. So just as a reminder, the purpose of the RTP, and that is the Regional Transportation Plan, and that is our slick logo that you're seeing on your screen, provides a comprehensive long-range framework, 25 years for transportation investment and policy decisions within the region. So Tanner, can you go to the next slide? Broken into 3 items. I'll go over the scope of work real quick and then the land use update and then the project request. So the scope of work was included within your TAC packet. Just very high level outlining of what will be done within the regional transportation plan. So assessing existing transportation conditions, forecasting future travel demand, so updating our travel demand model, and then looking at different land use scenarios and regional growth patterns, and that will be talked about in the land use update. Identifying multimodal transportation solutions that improve mobility, safety, and accessibility. That is the projects that will be submitted into the plan. And then engaging stakeholders and the public to ensure the plan reflects community needs and priorities. So that is a broad view on the scope of work. This is not a finalized scope of work. The goals within this are not finalized as the board will adopt the regional transportation plan goals in December. Also, there will be regional metrics to be adopted in December, and that is how the projects within the plan will be prioritized within the travel demand model. So just letting everybody know, this month at the BFCOG board, I'll be presenting a high-level RTP overview and then explaining what the board's role is within the RTP, and then a deeper discussion about the goals and the regional metrics in November. We will be having discussions about this at the TAC level between now and then, but just wanted everybody to be known. The metrics at the board, as they are not the ones that are the technical experts, they will be shaped by, say, safety. If that is the #1 goal, things will be weighted a little higher in crash reduction, things like that. So that is how it will trickle down from the board level. Any questions on the scope of work?
See anybody?
So Marcella, just getting back to your question earlier, very looking forward to providing input on this at the board level. So that's how we'll be incorporating this into the next 25-year planning horizon.
Fantastic. Thank you.
All right, next is the land use update. So this is the, this happens every 5 years with the travel demand model for the regional transportation plan. As we have done a land use update in the past, you're seeing some colors on your screen and you're seeing 5 different land use scenarios. We will have our base year, which will be 2025, and then we will have our forecast year, which will be 2050. That type of scenario is still included. That is what is called the baseline scenario. So that's trend line growth based on jurisdictions comp plans. So in the past, we've asked you to fill out the land use sheet. You've given it back to us. That's been this baseline scenario. We are going to incorporate 4 different scenarios. However, that baseline scenario, as I talked about how projects will be prioritized, that will be how the projects are done, not based on these different scenarios. They still will be shown based upon these different scenarios, just for more information for jurisdictions. So if they wanted to say, oh, if we're doing infill development at a certain location, here's a project that scores better, like that. But the different scenarios are the Tri-City sinks, so a low growth scenario, and then Ecotopia, high growth. So if there is infill development, Back to the Future, which is a high growth scenario, but predominantly on the edge of town. And then the MA and SAFE is in medium growth. So same growth rate as the baseline, just in different locations from each jurisdiction's comp plan. So with this, we'll be having a kickoff or question meeting with our travel demand modeling consultant and us on Wednesday, September 10th at 2 p.m. You don't have to write that down. I will send out a follow-up meeting invite. And I'll also be inviting the planning directors as well, so they can be in the know on this. And it will be a high-level meeting. We'll talk about the growth scenarios, and then there will be follow-up meetings requested if your jurisdiction wants to be involved. If not, the land use will be assigned, but we really want your input on the baseline scenario, as that is specifically reflecting your comprehensive plan. Any questions on the land use update?
I'd say Tri-City slows rather than sinks.
Tri-City slows?
Yeah. Yeah. Sinks that. It's. Yeah.
Next slide. Yep. All right. So then the RTP project request. So this is just a reminder to everybody. So with the update of the regional transportation plan, we are asking for all of your regional transportation projects that will be taking place between 2025 and 2050. There was an email sent out to you on August 4th requesting your input and to fill out a spreadsheet with this. This was sent from Daisy Funk. After this meeting, Daisy will rebump that email to the top of your inbox, by sending just a quick reminder on that. So, and also, what do we need from you? We need the transportation projects that will take place in your jurisdiction between now and 2050. If you do not submit any projects, your jurisdiction will not have any projects listed in the RTP, which will result in losing access to federal and state funds. I confirmed this with WashDOT, and your project is not able to be properly listed in the TIP or STIP. And then also reminder in the call for projects, this was a criteria. If your project was listed in the MTP, you received more points. And this is based upon a TIP policies and procedures 1.2. So this is, go ahead, Roscoe.
Oh, I finished up on the last one.
This is very important that you have all of your projects submitted to us. Last time there were 3 jurisdictions that did not submit any projects. And we would like to make sure that everybody has their projects listed in this.
So Daisy, your deadline for one of these projects, what was the deadline?
It is in the email. I believe it was like September 26th.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, and
September 26th.
and the reason I'm asking is I know West Richland and probably, I think, is all agencies of Benton County having to update their comprehensive plans by the end of next year. So that process is just starting. And so you're asking for transportation projects in that same planning period that we probably won't have until after the first of the year. So when is this RTP project? I mean, what I guess I'm asking is, can we delay it so that, I mean, we're working through it. It's got a lot of changes. Projects I give you today are not going to be correct, and then we'll change right after the first of the year, more likely.
So our RTP deadline, timeline is to be adopted by the end of December of next year. Which we do have a little wiggle room in that. However, as we're updating our land use now, we want to make sure that we are getting the projects in sooner than later. So the model is being used for your comp plan updates. So the projects you're going to have to submit it regardless.
You're not going to get, I mean, right now, everybody's working on their land use and potential changes.
Yes.
And once the land use is set, then the model will tell them what the impacts, and it will add projects. For West Richland, we're in a good spot. because most of the changes are with the Lewis and Clark branch and the model's already been ran. But we're still working through what those projects are for West Richland. And the draft of the impacts to the surrounding agencies won't even be available probably until toward, probably still 2 weeks out. So it's going to be, it's still going to be a couple months out before these new projects that are popping up from impacts from that development that people want to populate. So all I'm saying is if we can delay this, give agencies more time, you will get better information. The land use has to be set first and then see what the impacts are. I don't know, anybody else have a comment or are they ahead on their comp plan updates? Go ahead, Maria.
Yeah. Yes, same thing. So Pasco's going through the comprehensive plan process, and at the same time, we're doing a TSMP to update our previous one. And so what we have is likely not accurate, and it will become obsolete, by sometime early next year. And so it would help us to have the ability to either, if you want to list today and then revise it later, but it's like you're running your model twice. Right? I don't know how prudent that is for the use of your budget with the consultant, but for us, it's like our old TSMP may not reflect at all what the needs are because our land use is changing.
I will say the timeline of extending it to next year will not work. And
For the transportation project?
yes. Because then that filters into our land use update and and the prioritization of projects, our outreach and the goals and things.
We'll have to have more discussion on it because, like I said, every city is going through their comp plan right now, and the information is not going to be ready until probably. So what you're getting is you'll get projects over the last comp plan effort. I don't know, for us, it's probably 6 years ago.
Yes.
So as each jurisdiction is updating their comp plan, you all are using the model. Which is within the urban core, you all are using the model. To make the model within your comp plan the most accurate it can be, which this is a now self-fulfilling prophecy. The model you're going to be using is not going to be accurate because we won't have your projects. For your comp.
When will you have the land use inputted into it?
Hopefully by the end of, I believe, middle of November.
Yeah, go ahead, Maria. I just see issues with this.
It's from before.
Oh, that was, I just said put it down. Okay, sorry. I don't know. I don't like doing.
So when would be the early, as you all are figuring out your projects to have, when is the earliest that you could give them, have them prepared for us?
I think for West Richland, they're working on the land use.
Mm-hmm.
I still get, it's gonna be in the year first and after the first.
Yeah,
I just don't think.
same with Kevin.
The comp plans aren't set until next spring. That's a next year thing.
Yes.
So you may have other agencies that haven't started yet because they've got to the end of 26. We started early because of the Lewis and Clark branch. Yeah. But like I said, Richland and unincorporated Benton County eventually impacts from the Lewis and Clark branch that they haven't seen the results from until it's 2 weeks from now. So
if this is delayed now 4 months, that gives us no wiggle room at the end of our RTP timeline. So with our process, if there is any hiccups, we will have no wiggle room.
again,
Just making this as transparent as possible for everybody.
yeah.
This might be something you guys need to look at when you time this, because our comp plan updates are on a regular schedule. It doesn't make any sense to ask us for projects that are driven primarily by land use changes and give them to you on the exact same time frame which we're trying to get those land use changes approved. You should lag it by a year.
We can't, this is every 5 years.
I think this just lined up in a bad.
Yeah,
So
so
you're
it's a state requirement for you guys to update on the same time frame we have to update our comp plans on? Because that's ours
No,
every
well,
5 years.
Ours is every 5 years, so we have, yes, ours is every 5 years. It's a state and federal requirement.
I think it's, I don't.
It's the switch.
It's lined up, so you're end of next year.
We have to have a plan submitted by May of 27. We have a 4 month buffer, and that's why we're trying to have it adopted by December of 26. So if we're shifting this all the way to January, that eats up any of our.
No, it's okay. So your RTP is, when is it due to be submitted?
May
May, it's like, adopt that deadline is May of 27.
And that's fully adopted and everything?
Yep.
Okay. And
We're all on December of 26, but I think they're trying to get done earlier than that, at least in Benton County, but it's fall. And so that works. It's, you guys were trying to be ahead of schedule, which I understand why you would want to do that, but I think that's probably why yours is due in May. To give time there between the finish of our comp plan process and the deadline for yours. So I don't think, we don't plan on taking until December. I don't remember the date, and maybe Robert can find out since he's over there in the planning building. But I know they're targeting fall.
Yeah, it was, I thought that they were thinking at least by November that it would be ready.
That's November of 2026.
Yeah.
yeah. So I think everybody's comp plan was originally due in June of 26, and it got pushed back to the end of December. And then to even make it more complicated, a lot of agencies got funding from Commerce for their comp plans and the new energy climate element. But Commerce didn't roll over funds that weren't spent by June 30th of 2025. That's the first time I've ever seen a state agency grant not roll over. That was a multi-year deal. And then the caveat for the new grants, which they still haven't, it's causing delays in people's comp plan, because Commerce still hasn't processed the new grants so that you can continue work. So really, from July 1st to now, no one has their Commerce grants to continue. And even then, they put a caveat in the first year, you can only spend 65%. The last 35% of your money is in the last 6 months, which is worthless. But I'd say, Aaron, because a lot of this is on our planning, I don't know their exact schedule. Maybe the best thing is send out your schedule and have each agency roll out what their consultant schedule is. And I know in West Richland, the land use and the transportation is front loaded. And it's still early enough, maybe the other agencies can front load those. I mean, land use has to come first. But maybe we can front load the transportation and get it to you sooner, but I'd send it out. And let's see if it's gonna push everybody.
So the meeting on the 10th, I will try to make that as clear as possible to all the planning directors, that land use update meeting of trying to receive the projects and everything like that. And that meeting will be recorded as well.
And the problem is, a lot of this, Aaron, you're meeting with public works directors. We don't get a lot of say in the comp plan update. We try, but we should. Because it is transportation, usually it's water, sewer.
I get told to stick to engineering.
Yeah, straight lines and neutral colors. That's what I'm told. So, okay. We'll make it work, Aaron. I just want to make sure we get the data and don't do it. We'll make it.
Just make sure you submit projects this time around. That is the big thing. That's all.
All right. All right, we'll move on to member comments and I'll try to catch everybody. All right, so top of the list, Kevin, and Franklin Transit. Oh, what, Phil, let's go Phil first. He's got good news for us.
Yeah, I thought you might want to hear what I found out from Seth, which is good news. So that September 12th deadline is for a clean package to have already gone through region local programs and arrive at headquarters. So it's not obligation, it's that it's gone through the region and a clean package has been received by headquarters. So there's that. And the second one is that headquarters has forwarded Pasco's Road 76 to FHWA. So I don't know that I've ever heard of an instance where FHWA has kicked something back that got through headquarters. So I'm probably in pretty good shape there.
Great
Nice
news.
job,
Thank you.
Maria. Yeah, that made us meet. Okay. All right. Thanks, Bill. That's great news.
Thank you, Phil.
All right, lost my place. Kevin, Benton-Franklin Transit. See if you can top that.
Thanks, everyone. On our end, we just wrapped up our fare service about 2 weeks ago. So we reached our goal of 30,000 rides. So this is the most rides we've provided in, I believe, 15 years. So great news for us. And then, yeah, we did increase some frequency on what we're calling our Route 2X. So that's 15-minute peak service that basically provides a quicker trip between Knight Street in Richland and 22nd Avenue in Pasco via CBC and the airport. So yeah, some great news on our end. So that's about it for me.
Thanks, Kevin. Matt, Benton County.
We're starting to finally get some projects through the design phase and start getting things out to construction. We had a little bit of a slow time there, so getting things done. We've been using more consultants, but we were able to bring on another designer recently, so hopefully we bring some of those back in-house. So that's good. Got mostly safety projects, and then we have our County Well Road up on top of the hill, which is state funded through the County Road Administration Board that's moving through its design process. So.
Thanks, Matt. Nathan, Benton City.
Yeah, we're moving along over here in Benton City. Got a few wastewater projects that are either wrapping up or starting construction. They needed to be done by end of this year, so we're making that target. Those were ARPA projects, working with the county on those. And moving forward on our sidewalk STPG grant and our splash pad through RCO. Also, we lost our planner. He retired, so I'm taking on some planning duties, me and our building inspector as well. So adding more to our plates, but we're keeping along here well. So things are going along.
Thanks, Nathan. John, City of Kennewick.
It's like John may have logged off.
Oh, all right. Let's see, Maria, City of Pasco.
Not a lot of new things from last time, just our pedestrian crossing at A and 6th Avenue is beginning construction now. That is a safety funded project, HSIP. And we're getting ready to, once that money for Road 76 comes in, we'll be able to send our RFQ out. So that's exciting. We have a handful of projects going out to bid. But I mean, a lot less construction this year as promised, and likely a high year next year for traffic revisions. So we're all preparing for that. Thank you.
Thanks, Maria. Marty, City of Prosser.
Yeah, we got a TBD project, Margaret Street improvements, and a ramp improvement project that's it's on the agenda for next Tuesday for award. Good news, we got our prospectus package all approved for the Wine Country Road OIE roundabout. So we started survey and design work on that. So good news there.
Thanks, Marty. Craig, Franklin County.
Like said earlier, Jeff said earlier, we got all our paperwork in to get North Railroad Avenue obligated. We awarded the Glade North Shave and Pave, and we're hoping that goes into construction by the end of the month. And that's basically what's going on right now.
Thanks, Greg. Brandon, Board event?
Hey, everyone. Yeah, we obviously, you guys know we just finished the SR 240 job, and WashDOT right now is kind of paving up to us. We're fixing a couple errors, or not errors, but pavement issues as well with that effort. And then we're just working on a lot of funding sources, trying to get obligated, and both with Ray's, Commerce, got a loan through CURB, also worked with Benton County to finalize some other committed funds there to rebuild one of our rail facility buildings over on Stevens. And we've got a shore power project that's happening here at the barge slip, that's currently under design. We'll be providing shore power, also setting a kind of a dock system with dolphins. And then we have a whole bunch of other things kind of trickling in, but yeah, we're busy over here.
Thanks, Brandon.
Yep.
Phil, any more news from DOT?
I was hoping to have a little update on the 240 project, but I didn't receive anything quite yet. But I'd heard that there was some delays because of operator strike. So I'm not sure if that's been worked out yet or not. I was hoping to get a response, but the PE from Tri-Cities is out, so apologize for that. So I don't have anything else unless folks have questions.
Thanks, Phil. All right, West Richland, the SR 224 Red Mountain project is still shut down. It's again impacted by the operator strike. I just saw a press release from the I can't think of the general contractors that have been negotiating with the union, that they're at an impasse. So that's not good. That means probably mediation or something else. So I was hoping for a quick resolution, but it doesn't seem there. But they've sent out an email. So if you're interested in what the offers are and what the history, they were pretty transparent in that, what they showed out there. It was like a 17 or 18% increase to the operator's wage over 3 years. And that wasn't acceptable. So anyway, it's impacting that project. And then the other big one that we're going to create some traffic headaches, the Keene and Kennedy intersection next week. There's 3 days, and I can't remember which 3 days. It's on our social media though. They're basically going to fog seal Kennedy and do some lane diets and basically restripe it so that the shared left turn and through on Kennedy is split. So you'll have a separate left turn and through. So everybody going to Costco can get through the intersection and get to Costco. And then the other part of that is we added extra signal heads for protected right turns off of Kennedy onto Keene when there's left turns coming off of Keene Road. So it'll improve the level of service. But next week's level of service will not be good. They're going to narrow Keene Road down to 1 lane each direction, and there'll be 4 flaggers. So if you could avoid that intersection those 3 days, I don't know how. There's not a good detour around it. Anyway, I'm sure the calls will come. That's it for West Richland. I think our next meeting, October 2nd. So anything from council government staff no? Okay. We'll call it a meeting just a little bit over. We did good. So we'll see everybody in October. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.